Welcome, everyone. Will everyone hop on here? My name is Frank Klesitz with Viral Marketing. I'm at a hotel right now. Hopefully, I sound okay. I'm joined here with Matt O'Neill, one of the top realtors in Charleston. Say hi, Matt.
What's up? What's up?
Thanks for doing this, Matt. Matt's not getting paid and brought us that this is so cool. He just wanted to share it. So this is just something altruistically he's sharing what's working for him, for everyone else. So thank you for doing this. Then we have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good
man.
friend of mine, Matt
And
Wagner. Oh,
Matt
sorry. Go ahead,
Wagner is
Matt.
the one who reintroduced me to you. So what's up, Matt Wagner?
Hey, what's up, guys?
So Matt Wagner runs radio and television experts. So if you have a chance to go to radioandtelevisionexperts.com, it was at Matt's Nashville mastermind of many of the top agents, the number one agents in many markets get together once a year. Matt went and sold radio and television endorsements and ads, which you'll see here in a minute, to really help generate seller leads and opportunities for agents. And Matt O'Neill is a customer of Matt Wagner, so he's here. And it was at the radio and television expert that Matt O'Neill and I reconnected. Matt was a client, and he came back, and here's what happened. Then Matt O'Neill, you have a couple of people here on your team. Why don't you introduce them really quick when it comes to the lead conversion of the leads we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're spending $2 million a year on marketing, and it's just crazy. And every single lead from Zillow's $400, every lead from Realtor.com is $150, every radio lead's $500, and yet for $650, we can email all 40,000 leads we've spent millions of dollars to acquire and get 650 of them to raise their hand and say,
Yep.
"Hey, I'm ready to sell." I mean, it's awesome. There's really no quantifiable ROI on that.
So let's cut to the chase. So I'm in the chat. I'm going to put first a link to your main website here, Matt. Okay. So I just think it's kind of interesting for everyone to see. Let me share my screen. Here's Matt's main website. This is where I'm assuming that $2 million of advertising goes. And you found that the guaranteed offer is the way to go for one of your main call to actions here at the top. But I just want to point out that, the question is like, are you legit, right? So obviously you have your online reviews, but Matt Wagner here with radio and television experts hooked you up with some of these endorsements. Let's just talk about that real quick, because I think this dramatically helps lead generation and conversion. What are these all about, Matt O'Neill?
Yeah, I mean, it's borrowed authority. That's what Matt Wagner is, like the king of this. And when somebody's watching Shark Tank, everyone knows who Barbara Corcoran is, and they see our radio ad, all of a sudden we have authority. Everyone who likes sports knows about ESPN. People in my town know who those endorsement celebrities are. So when that person that they listen to every single morning on their driving to work says, "If I was going to sell my home, I'd use Matt O'Neill," then they call me to use me. It's like a referral. It's like I'm their friend.
Yeah, that's good. So you came to us and said, hey, I haven't been maybe doing the best of job, stay in touch with my list. And, make no mistake, you have a very large database.
Yeah.
Let me take a look at the numbers. And this is not the case for everyone. So when I talk to Matt O'Neill, obviously Matt's an outlier, $2 million in advertising, like everyone gets it. But regardless of how much money you're spending, the principles stay the same, even if you're spending a couple $100 a month.
It doesn't matter if every single lead costs you $100, and let's even PPC leads are $25, and you're spending $2,000 a month. It's $24,000 a year on these leads. Why don't you want them to raise their hand and say, "Hey, I'm ready to sell my home now"? Otherwise, you just throw them away.
Yep. So I'm going to send you guys the email that Matt sent out. So there it is. It's in the chat for everyone. I'll pull it up. So on the viral marketing plan, Matt, you make 2 educational videos a month that you sit down on riverside.fm with us to cut a couple educational tips. I think the 2 tips for next month that you're going to shoot are something to the effect of what happens if my interest rate goes up while I'm under contract to buy a home.
Yep.
And then how do I buy before I sell with like a bridge loan, cash offer type of option. Those are the 2 topics you're going to talk about. And those are just educational videos, but also in addition to the 2 videos a month, at Viral, it's all about executing a 36 touch to your whole database. The 3rd touch every month is a lead generation email. This is for all of our customers. So the videos are designed to get people to know you and like you, and there's benefits to that, but it's that lead generation email a month that just goes out with an offer that's relevant, that spikes response. And you picked this lead generation offer to go out last month. Why don't you tell everyone about this and why you picked this one?
Lauren Nelson and Julia Rudolphski, who are on this call, picked this email. ladies, why did you choose this particular email?
Ooh, seller leads. Yeah, we wanted to focus on the seller leads right now, and I think with the changing market conditions, now is the time that people are like, "Hey, what is my current home value?" So we thought we wanted to start with that, and it really paid off for sure.
So we took your whole list, everyone out of your CRM, and ideally we suppressed, anyone that was an unsubscriber or bounce. So I got the cleanest stuff. And they probably got some other emails too, but eventually this email showed up, and then they clicked the link, right? And it went to this landing page. I'm going to go ahead and put the landing page here in the chat so you guys see that, because that was promised to you. So in the chat for everyone in the webinar, there's a link to the actual email you sent out, and I linked to the landing page. When you click the link in the email, you get the landing page. And free Charleston home price estimate. Find out what your Charleston home is really worth based on our detailed analysis. You receive an accurate value based on current market trends with these simple questions. And then we also added in here to add some credibility. I think you have just about every endorsement Matt offers, Daniel. Better. That's there. Well, why so many?
We like to sell a lot of houses.
It's a good answer. So people put their address in. You ask them, are they thinking of selling soon? And the condition of their home, and the type of property that it is, and the year that was built, and if they're currently working with an agent or not, and anything else about the home. And just so you know, from a marketing standpoint, we ask for the contact information later. You get better conversion if you ask these questions first and then ask for the contact information to kind of suck them into the form. You don't put the contact information right away. Little internet marketing tip.
Yeah, once I've already invested in typing out all your answers, I might as well just complete it.
Then they put all this in here, and I could probably add another field there where like, how did you hear about us? And then they click get estimate. And then it basically says, hey, we're going to call you to give you a really accurate one. All right. And then that went to your team. So let's take a look at some of the metrics, which is kind of interesting. Now, again, I want to be clear. Matt has a huge list from $2 million a year in advertising. Typical client list is maybe around 1,000, let's say. This is stupidly huge, which is why you got such good numbers, but the principle still applies. So I think you gave us 45,000 emails, Matt.
Yep.
And 12,000 people opened them, which is pretty good, man, for a big list dump like that we scrubbed. We used the service Never Bounce. We went to neverbounce.com and took your CRM export and cleaned it up through there before we loaded into the email marketing
Isn't the
program.
average open rate of an email like 18%?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good, man. 20 for a list that size, after we scrubbed it, that's really good.
But that's
like,
a testament to Matt Wagner and the radio and the TV endorsements that our name coming from that email has some weight to all these people we haven't spoken to in a long time. I think that's why our open rate's so high.
Well, I do think
it is higher.
I will say to that, the fact is, and Matt gets it, right? You're marketing to 99% of people don't need you right now, right? But you're planting seeds so that when they're ready. And what I love about Viral is that, you're continually staying in front of a database along parallel with the radio. So they both work together really, really well. So they stay in front of people so that when they're finally ready, they've been hearing about you for years, and now they're ready to take action, and you're right there.
Yeah. At the rate conference, one of the people said 100% of the people are buyers or sellers one day. So that's why we market to the whole market.
And it's really interesting. So let's read these. So you had 12,000 people read it, which is pretty awesome. And then 651 people actually clicked the link in there. And what's cool is, I won't show all these names if you have other people in Charleston to white your leads, but I can see all the people that click the various links. These go to your inbound team. These go to your ISAs, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So this is really great lead identification. Here's 45,000 names. Well, with that one email, we identified 653 that might actually be interested in talking about real estate, just from the people clicking the links, right? But let me step back here. What I want to show you, which is so fascinating, and I think this is just kind of the marketer in me, is let's take a look at the actual heat map of this email. So this email went out. most people opened it on their desktop, not their mobile, which is interesting. So they, 27 people clicked your logo to figure out, who's this guy? What's this all about? But then they scroll down. I just don't think this is accurate, but like it says nobody clicked this link here, which is extremely strange. Okay. And then they read the email. I'm writing to let you know that I can tell you what your home is worth right now if you're thinking of selling in 2022. Median home prices in Charleston are up 17%. You'll likely get a high price for your home before the Fed starts raising rates. Enter your email, enter your address here to find out what your home is worth. Keep in mind, it's just an estimate, yada, yada, yada. You guys can read all this. But it says no one clicked that either. Again, that's really strange, okay? But if you keep going down, look how many people click these little ads, 496 clicks under looking to sell your home graphic. That's insane. What I don't know what that means, but what that means is everyone read the whole email, which is usually not the case.
That's
and
awesome.
they made it all the way down. And they're like, oh, I should probably click this stuff and go to one of your landing pages. So you had 262 people go back to Sierra to search for houses,
Right.
and 496 to opt in for what their home is worth.
So if someone had a list that was 4,000 people, that would be 26 buyer leads that
Sounds about right.
re-engaged and 50 seller leads that re-engaged on a 4,000 person list. Man, I would take 50 people that are thinking of selling and call the heck out of them right now. And that's actually what Mimi from our ISA team, what they're doing. And they set 8 listing appointments. And Mimi, you can talk about it because I know you set 2 of those 8 yourself, but the people weren't really looking for their home value. They just said, yeah, actually we're ready to sell.
Yeah, we were really surprised. We were anticipating to set up a bunch of CMA appointments, just like a nurture appointment to deliver a new comparative market analysis to those people. And what we found when we were talking to them was that they were interested in, regular full listing appointment. They wanted to know about what it would take to sell their house.
Well, that's nice. Let's talk about a little bit about getting those leads over to you that I was going to share. So I think everyone's kind of clear on this. Hey, Matt O'Neill needed a way to stay in touch with the database consistently with relevant information that was timely. So you hired ViralBack. We got that going on, but you just really loved the monthly lead generation email, which I'm showing everyone here, right? Partnered with the endorsements that Matt Wagner has put together to add to your credibility that I showed on your website. Okay. We sent out this email. This is in the chat. I promised you guys this in the webinar. They clicked that link. It went to a landing page that Viral made, so I can control it. We make these landing pages for customers. We really like Paperform. You guys can check it out. So for all the marketing geeks on here, Paperform is a cool landing page generator that we really like, that we use at Viral. We have an agency account. And then I even showed you the actual stats. Like, these don't lie. These are the actual stats that we got from Matt with his message. Do you guys have a copy of the message? But there's actually a problem you run into when you're even dealing at this scale, is how do you get all this information back into the CRM? So I'll just show this with you because you guys asked me this before we did this. Is the first thing I want you to do is go sign up for Zapier. So I think you guys use Sierra Interactive.
We do, yeah.
And we want to create a Zap. So whenever a new lead comes into Sierra or you update someone in Sierra, it pushes it right over to Emma in real time. Does that sound good?
Yeah, Lauren, did you already do that?
Yes, it's in progress.
In progress.
Yeah, we've been doing it manually the past couple of weeks, but it's only because of some login issues. Our reps on it.
There's a second one too. Let me show you a second one really quick. Whenever, so let's take a look at apps that work with Zapier. So whenever something comes in from Sierra, and again, this could be whatever CRM you use. I also want you to push it to Facebook custom audience. See that? So not only does everyone that goes in your CRM goes into your email marketing program, so we get your contact out through Emma, I also want to push to your Facebook ad account so we can immediately retarget them with your endorsement. So if a contact comes in your Sierra, or again, any CRM, not only are they going to get the emails with your endorsements in them and your messages that we're putting together, but also it'll go to Facebook. And if that phone number or email matches up to the Facebook user profile, we can run database retargeting ads automatically. So all you guys got to do is just put the people in your CRM, and they're automatically going to go into the email marketing that goes out, and they're automatically going to go to Facebook for retargeting. How cool is that, MetaMail?
I love it.
So Zapier, so get that set up. And again, you have to work with us on that, but it's not that expensive. I think you need the pro version, $20 a month for Zapier. Sound good? Now, there's another challenge that you're going to run into. And again, this is when you're probably at Matt O'Neill's scale is, oh my gosh, I have 651 people to call.
Even if it was 65, 65 is a lot of people to call.
Yeah, even if it was 65, but especially if it's 650. But yeah, even if it's 65 or 40 or 10, I mean, whatever, like those are still good names to call. Like you could be so lucky to send in a list of 1,000 and get an email out to get 10 solid prospects. I mean, that's what marketing is all about, right? Like, filtering down who's interested and who's not. But there was a vendor that I want to give a shout out to that was also at Radio and Television Experts Mastermind right across from me, and that's RealSync. And RealSync here integrates with Sierra. This is like a kind of the Zapier of real estate apps. They integrate with Viral. So all of this click information here, it'll push it from Emma back into Sierra. So instead of having to like export this Excel spreadsheet of all these open and click reports, this is for your ISA team. So Mimi, Lauren, Julia, it'll push it right back into Sierra without having to deal with the exports from the Excel spreadsheets to make it easier for you guys to follow up and set some appointments and sell some houses versus the manual work of dealing with the spreadsheet. Sound good?
And then what we did is we created a pond. Lauren called it the re-engaged pond. And so we've got agents that are required to make a certain number of contacts every week in order to get new leads. And that's when we create ponds, we created a FSBO pond. We just signed a $1.1 million listing on a FSBO from a brand new agent, her very first day on the phones, called the FSBO pond, and we just signed a $1.1 million listing yesterday.
That's awesome.
Because we created a pond. So we've got those 500 seller re-engaged leads in a seller re-engaged pond, and we got the 200 re-engaged buyer leads in a buyer re-engaged pond, and agents can just call through. These are old leads. Like we were doing nothing with them. We basically had just thrown this money down the toilet, and now we're pulling money out of nothing, and it's awesome.
So one of the things I'll share now is some messaging that everyone needs to know. So again, one of the things that Matt was like, hey, I think I can help you guys get some more customers. This is really cool. I want to share it with my peers. So Matt, seriously, thank you. And for those of you who watch this that are Viral clients, talk to us and let's get this out. If you're not a customer, go to getvyral.com, GETVYRAL, and just go request a free strategy call and you'll talk to us. And I can't stress enough, the endorsements are a catalyst around all of this, let alone bringing in the leads in the first place to the database. It's radioandtelevisionexperts.com, right, Matt Wagner? Yep. So go check that out.
Yes, sir.
So there's our little plug for what we do if you want to check that out. Now, with that, and I gave you everything here to do on your own. You're welcome to do it if it's not the right time to hire and have us.
No, you know what? We tried to do it on our own. We used to work with Viral. We worked with you for years. And then I said, hey, we've got this really awesome marketing team. We're going to start to send out these emails, these videos on our own. And we did. The piece that we were missing was at the bottom of every email. Are you looking to buy a home, or do you want to know your home value? And that piece is the gold of all of the email marketing.
That's the direct response marketer, man. Is you can probably find a lot of people that can do like social media, but how can they convert it to business?
Right.
And that's the edge that I have. And I want to talk about that edge next, because one of the things you asked me was, Frank, what other offers can we do? Like what other emails like this and landing pages and topics do you have that's going to keep this kind of response going on?
Right.
And would you guys like to know what those are?
I do.
Let's do it.
Woo!
All right. Yeah. So I'll tell you right now, I do think buyer workshops are making a big comeback. A couple of weeks ago, a customer of ours out of Stockton, California, was like, hey, Frank, I don't need all this seller lead stuff. I got plenty of those now. I got plenty of listings. I need buyers. I'm like, God, I haven't heard that in 10 years.
I will never say that. I don't care what market we're in. If I have 1,000 active listings, I'll want 2,000.
Yeah. So I haven't heard that in a long time. So I was like, I need like a buyer workshop to educate buyers. And just so you know, just for everyone listening to this, you do have lots of sellers coming through as buyer leads, if you're tactful about it, that are looking
Yep.
for a home, but they have to sell first. So they're, when I say buyers too, like understand there are seller leads in them, but doing Zoom webinars, man, like the real estate industry is just kind of slow to that. I mean, it's in every other industry, but saying that, hey, we're thinking of buying a home, a lot has changed. What if your interest rate goes up? How do you make the offer? You're reading news now, people backing out of contracts, yada, 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 listing inventory is up. We're gonna help you make sense of it all if you actually need to buy a house. So go register for our home buyer workshop, and boom, you got some decent leads. And you do a webinar just like this. I think we pay, this is a Zoom webinar. We went to zoom.us and signed up. It's like $50 a month for unlimited webinars. And you guys registered on the landing page that Zoom made. Zoom did this whole thing. So you guys can all go do webinars just like this and send an email out to your list, driving them to go register for a webinar like many of you did for a buyer webinar. I'll also say seller workshops. Hey, a lot of uncertainty. Would you like to know all of your options when selling and driving people to that? Again, I would recommend webinars. Sorry for the noise over here. Our hotel decided to do a blood drive next to me today.
Are you
that
giving
they're
blood?
setting up for. I
Are you
asked them
giving
if I
blood
just,
right now?
I asked them to hook me up on the webinar while they're setting up over here. And I'm like, yeah,
Good,
I have no
man. Way
reason.
to do your
Yeah, I will.
part.
Yeah, I'll
Way
do
to
a blood
your
today.
part.
100%.
And
I'll absolutely
do,
get blood.
we do a blood drive at the office twice a year.
That's good. Well, and that's another call to action. We can make a direct offer email to come register for the blood drive.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty cool.
yeah, so the point is, what's some other ones? Buy before you sell. If you want to get qualified for a bridge loan or a cash offer to buy a home before you sell, so you don't have two mortgage payments. That's a really popular one. You said you have Ribbon out there. There's Knock, there's Homeward, there's Homelight. They have a lot of bridge loan options. Your lender might have one. We talked about a sell and stay campaign where it's basically a glorified sale leaseback where somebody wants to sell their home at today's prices, but still live there with like a long-term lease option. Even your lender, I have a really good one that O'Neill, just getting a free rate quote. Like just sending out an email like, hey, have you thought about getting a mortgage? Here's a free rate quote going back to a landing page, which gives you mortgage leads, which your lender would really like. But, these are all messages for immediate response that Matt Wagner, you know a lot about running these ads on radio and TV, right? The same messages that you run on billboards, radio, and TV that you see on Google ads and Facebook ads, you just craft that into an email or even a retargeting ad to your database and send it out and drive it back to a landing page. That's what generates the immediate response. So you kind of have the helpful videos, right? Get to know who Matt is. Here's who I am. I'm a nice guy. I'm educating. That's all great. And certainly you can call the people clicking those links. But the way you spike the responses, you tag along those offers for immediate response with them, which is what you were lacking beforehand, right, Matt O'Neill?
That's exactly what we were lacking. So I tried to get into radio and television experts for years, and Matt will only work with one person in each market. And finally, this market in Charleston opened up, and I was fortunate enough that Matt said, hey, I finally have a spot for you. I tell anyone that's wanting to grow their real estate team, man, if you really want to blow up, you need to get in touch with Matt Wagner. So if there's not an agent in your town that currently is working with radio and television experts, you need to reach out to Matt Wagner as soon as possible, because it will change your business. We grew from 120 million to almost 400 million in 5 years once we started working with him.
That's incredible.
And you work with people that are, 20 million, $30 million teams and get them up to 100 million too, right?
Yeah, there's a variety. I mean, there's teams that are doing 100, 200 million already. There's people that are doing 20, 30 million. The key is if you've got a foundation in place that you can grow from. And even to the point that you both are making, being consistent, running your message on emails, radio, billboards, on all your marketing should all be in sync. And that's why you've also grown too. You've implemented too. So
yeah, and then
it's good partners. It's not just
then you
one
get to
thing.
go to Matt's mastermind event and hang out with the top real estate agents in the world, literally. And at lunch, I'm sitting there with Janice Santori from Joy Daniels' team, and she says, "Why aren't you working with Viral?" She said, "Man, we're making more money off of Viral than we are anything else we're doing." And that's so shout out to Janice. But really, I wouldn't have even re-engaged with this. We wouldn't have these 600 new leads from one email if I hadn't been at your mastermind conference, Matt. And Frank, thank you for inviting me back. I appreciate it.
Let's open up some Q&A. Dude, thanks for the kind words, Matt O'Neill. So Viral Marketing made this. Yes, Christina, I'll answer this live. Viral Marketing did the direct offer email is what we call it, the lead generation email, and the landing page. We send out one of those a month for every client, on top of 2 educational videos that we use a service called Riverside. It's so cool, guys. Check out riverside.fm. That's how you create studio quality video content at scale from home on a webcam. That's what we use to interview to create your educational videos. And so it's a 36 touch long-term nurture. If you're a rate client, we weave the endorsement into all of it. And we recommend 2 helpful videos a month going out, and 1 direct offer message is the kind of the one that's the key to unlock the results. And then will you help us with our website of your clients? 100%. Absolutely. I mean, Matt Wagner will, because you're able to use the endorsements you get through him and the radio ads and put those on your website, which are huge when people are trying to decide from a commodity of realtors who they want to go use, right? And the same thing here at Viral, we build you a video blog that will put those endorsements on where your video goes, where it links to your website. So we do that for you. Go check it out at getviral.com. And then a rate client, we're using lingo, Matt. RATE stands for Radio and Television Experts. So Nick, Radio and Television Experts. That's radioandtelevisionexperts.com. Matt Wagner was the one that they even brought the results to my attention to put on something like this that you guys can chat, ask about. And yes, the pricing is on the website for Viral. It's getviral.com/pricing, and there's a 90-day money back guarantee. So if you don't get results from this to make your money back, I give you all of your money back in 90 days. I'm pretty confident with what I can do.
Yeah, but you have to call. You have to call them though. Like
Yeah.
you can't just generate 650 people who raise their hand and say, "I want to know my home value,"
That would make a lot
and
of sense.
just expect them to call you. They don't call you. You have to call the heck out of them.
Yeah. So my job as a marketer is to generate leads, and you have to call them. And in fact, you've hired people to do it for you, Matt O'Neill. For Matt Wagner, the pricing's all over the place with regards to the pricing for spots in the market, depending on the market you're in. If you're in New York, it's a little bit different. If you're in Toledo, Ohio, so that's going to be a custom price quote, right, Matt Wagner?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to vary on market size, station, opportunity, a lot of factors, but it's remarkably affordable. And we also teach people how to get vendors to help offset their costs too. So, I mean, sometimes it's even free if you want to look at it from that standpoint.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know Matt Wagner's fee is so small. It's ridiculously small. He for the amount of impact that he delivers, he's just taking a very tiny management fee on top of what your ads cost, and he writes all the ads. I used to write my own TV and radio ads, and I used to go record them, and they were terrible. And then I got the master to do it, and that's how we really blew up.
We got 2 minutes left in the chat or in the Q&A. Do you guys have any questions about how to get an email message, a direct offer, like an offer for immediate response about this uncertainty in the market, what people want to know, to get them to call you and get them to respond so you have leads? I have the messages. We can get the email list together. I want you guys to be able to do it if you're not in a position to hire us. We got 1 or 2 minutes
hire
left.
Viral too. I mean, this is
Viral's a freaking
you think you're going to
no-brainer.
save some money by
Thank you.
this is what we thought. Hey, we'll save a little bit of money. It's so inexpensive. It's $600 a month or $650 a month, I think. And they hold you accountable to emailing your database 3 times a month. And I had a really brilliant coach one day that said, you don't want to try to market to everybody. You want to be like King Kong jumping up and down in a tiny mud puddle. And that's what your database is. It's your little tiny puddle, and you just want to be King Kong, like the only name that small database thinks of every single day. And you do that by marketing to them consistently. That's what Viral does.
I've said it before, and I'll say it. Anyone of my peeps on the call, Ray client, if you're not using Viral, you're crazy. I mean, for all the money you invest into marketing to retarget those same people with the endorsers, this is your way to email your database, the people that recommend you. It's such, and I've seen the results of it. And That's why we're continually partners for so many years. We work hand in hand together so well.
Yeah, those 650 leads cost us $65,000 to get. And we just, for the tiny fraction of that cost, they just re-raised their hand.
Thanks, guys. All right. So we promised 30 minutes. Everyone probably has their next thing they have to go towards. Radio and television experts.com for Matt Wagner. Get Viral, VYRAL for viral marketing. Check all of that out there. And then Matt O'Neill's website. What was it?
It's my name,
Just your name.
matto'neill.com.
So you can kind of see the messaging, that he's putting out with $2 million of ad spend. That might be something to look at. Makes sense. And you guys got everything you need of why you guys showed up here in the chat with the email and the landing page that you guys can model and go do this for yourselves. So I appreciate the time. And I want to say thank you also to Mimi, Lauren, and Julia for being here as well, because you're the ones calling all these leads and turning it into deals. All right. That's all we got. Thanks, everybody. We'll end the webinar there.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Appreciate it.